My guest in conversation today has starred alongside Ray Winstone. She's appeared in Minder, Softly Softly, The Professionals, Emmerdale, Doctors. She's appeared in the West End and on tour all over the UK. She's managed to squeeze in 29 pantomimes. And of course, she shot to worldwide fame. And listen carefully, I will say this only once, not in a French accent, when she got the part of Yvette, carte blanche, the naughty, saucy, gorgeous waitress in the worldwide success, which was, of course, Hello, Hello. She is Vicki Michelle. Hello.
Hello, hello, Mark. You gorgeous bloke.
And I missed something out. I missed out that you are, of course.
Done your homework. That was fabulous.
Yeah, but I've missed out the best thing, MBE.
Oh, gosh, yes. Oh, yeah, for my charity work. Yeah, that was a great honour. Really great honour. And I got it from the Queen. I mean, much as I love Charlie, I wanted the Queen, and I got the Queen.
And you got her. It's something like 27 charities you're involved with.
I do a lot. Yes. Well, I always think give back, you know, and if I can, I'm one of those people that hate saying no. And there's so many good charities out there, you know, animal charities, children's charities, help the aged. There's so many Dream Factory, hospices. And I think if I'm not working and I can do something for them, then why not? It makes me feel good and I feel like I'm doing something positive.
I know, but what's really great about you, Vicki, is that we all sometimes do stuff, all our lives we do stuff for charity. We'll go along and do a day and we'll make an appearance or we'll sign something. But with you, you are ambassador, you're patron of so many charities. That's a big commitment, isn't it?
It is a big commitment. But do you know what? I always enjoy myself. I'm like the eternal optimist. So whatever I do, I have to enjoy myself. And it's lovely. I meet the most amazing people. You know, like the soldiers, ex-soldiers, ex-servicemen, Bomber Command, all of those boys that, oh my God, went through so much in the war. And I used to meet them regularly at the Heritage Foundation, and they were just always so well-mannered and fun to be with, and yet they've been through such traumatic times. So I've learned a lot. I mean, I think from whoever you meet, you learn something, and I've been privileged to meet these people.
And you lift them as well, because I've seen you with some of these people, and they're so thrilled to see you. They really are. Okay, let's go right back. So you were born in Chigwell, and you were born, what was it? You were born Michelle Vicki Nathan. So it was a clever idea just to change the names around, because Vicki Michelle, that really worked.
Well, we went to... Well, I was always called Vicky because Dad wanted me to, I think he was probably wanting a boy. So I was named after my father's father, Michael, and my dad's best friend, Victor. So that was Michelle Vicky. But then my father's father had passed away, and my dad's best friend went, why didn't you call her Vicky or Vicky? And so everyone had to call me Vicky. So I was always called Vicky. I was never called Michelle. And then I went to Ada Foster Stage School, which my sister Anne went to first because she was really naughty at school. So she sort of had to leave and Dad sent her to stage school. And then I went afterwards and she was Anne Michelle. Oh no, I think she was Anne Marie. And then I went in, because at those times you wanted sort of pretty names, I think. So Vicki Michelle came from that and she became Anne Michelle. And then we've got the Michelle dynasty. So it goes on.
But you see, it's interesting because your dad worked in the fish trade, but your mother was an actress.
Yes, she was.
So obviously that's where it comes from. So was it a given then that you would go into the business and that you would definitely go to stage school? Was that just absolutely what was going to happen, whether you had a say in it or not?
No, not at all. When we were young, I mean, Dad was more of an actor than anyone. He used to get up, tell stories, and he was like a larger than life character. You know, everyone loved him. And Mummy had gone to LAMDA, and she was in a film called The Glass Mountain. She appeared in The Glass Mountain with Tito Gobbi, brilliant film. And she worked with Terry Thomas and a few others. And I think Diana Dawes was there, Julie Andrews were all there around at that time. And then she met Dad and had me. So that she gave up the business basically for me, and then had 3 more girls. So there's like 4 girls. That she said, I'm giving up now, Joe. That's it, 4 girls. and so, but we always used to sing. And I went to ballet school when I was little. I loved ballet. So we were always singing and dancing, but we were never told to go into the business. It was never something we thought. We just did it as kids. And actually I stayed on at school and took a secretarial course. Before I left to my O levels. And then, but Anne had already gone to stage school. So Daddy said, would you like to go to stage school. And I said, well, Dad, I don't know whether I really want to be a secretary. So, you know, and I loved, and this was dancing, singing, everything.
So how old are you at this point? How old are you?
17, 18, because I went to the students' part. Whereas Annie went when she was probably about 14. So she went to the school part of Ada Foster. So I went for a year to the students' part after I'd taken my O-level. I wanted something to fall back on. You know, like if it didn't work, then I had a secretarial course, shorthand typing, Pitman's, you know. If you need a secretary, you know me, I'm here.
Very sensible thing to do. But also, that's quite a good thing to do, because you sort of had, I want to say normal, what's normal, but you'd had this non-showbiz schooling. And then by 17, you kind of decided, well, actually, I would like to have a go at this. So you go into stage school in a completely different frame of mind from being a kid.
Yes, I think that's right, because you get a lot of people coming out of stage school and they are just little actors and actresses, but I think I was normal and then went. So, but I learned a lot, and I just, and also we got sent out for auditions straight away. So I started auditioning and getting jobs while I was training. So
did you get an agent while you were at stage school as well?
No, she was the agent. So Ada Foster and Anita Foster were agents. So not only was it their school, they were agents, great agents. So, you know, so you were working and learning and doing the job. So what better way to work, to learn than to do it?
And was it expensive to go to stage school, or did you get a scholarship?
No, Daddy paid for it. But he'd been paying for Anne for about 3 years, I think. And I was just going for a year at the end for the students. So yes, he paid for that. I can't remember how much it was, but you know.
When did you leave stage school then?
I didn't really. I mean, I just kept working. So,
did you?
So I was training and working. So I did Dixon and Green, my first job, and then I did. I got a Play for Today. I went up for an audition for Play for Today, and also for the Dick Emery show.
Oh, yeah.
And my agent said, I want you to do the Dick Emery show. And I went, well, I'd rather do the Play for Today. And she said, no, I want you to do the Dick Emery show. I went, okay. And so I did the Dick Emery show, but that's because she told me that because one of her other girls had got the Play for Today if I didn't do it. So she had two. But it was great because that put me into comedy. But before that, I did like sort of Softlies. Yeah, I did three leading roles in Softlies. So usually you do one or two, but I did 3 on those. So that was great.
But presumably, Vicky, when you're at stage school and you're older, and you mentioned that you could sing a bit and you'd thought about ballet, so there was that performing side or acting, you had to kind of make a decision, did you, which way you were going to go?
I think I fell into the acting. I was always good at school at acting. You know, I used to go for poetry competitions and reading and things at school. So I used to sort of win those. So I was always good at reading scripts. So you might go for an audition where you had to dance and act. But a lot of them were just reading the script. And I can read a script. So they used to give me the script, read it. I got the part. So it was, that's how it happened. And I think it's destiny in a way, because whenever I've thought, no, I'm not working much, I'm going to leave, something's drawn me back. So it was destiny, I think, at the end of the day.
So we'll talk about getting the big job in a minute, because that didn't come till 1982. So between sort of early 70s and 82, when Hello came along,
yeah.
What happened there? Did you leave Ada Foster's care in terms of her looking after you? Did you get another agent? What did you do?
Oh, I've stayed with her. I'm really, really loyal with agents. I'm always there for years. I was there for years. And what happened was I was still training, but then I got a play in the West End with Dudley Moore called Play It Again, Sam. Yeah. And so I went, so that was a year in the West End at the Globe Theatre. So that took me out of, really, I wasn't going to go back to school after that because I'd established myself as an actress on the stage. So that was a year. And then after that, gosh, what did I do? I think, you know, lots of television things like the Softlies and all those shows. Minder I did, Professionals, oh my God, The Likely Lads, comedy. And then I fell into the comedy.
A good, thriving career. You were doing okay.
I was. I know. Don't sound shocked.
No, but you know, sometimes before people get a big break, you often hear that they really struggled, but actually you didn't struggle. You kept on working. You were fine until 1982 and Hello Hello. When did you first hear about?
Oh, no, actually, just before I did Hello Hello, I hadn't worked for about 8 months or so, and I was actually thinking I'm going to give up work. You know, that was a long time, and I did a commercial in Ireland called for Harp Lager and I had this character name called Sally O'Brien, and it was Sally O'Brien and the way she might look at you. Well, I'd gone out there, done this commercial, come back, didn't know anything about it. About a year later, we get this call. Has Vicki got any Irish blood? So I said, well, my grandmother was Irish, McCarthy from Ireland. So thank God for that. Can she come out? So unbeknown to me, I am this huge star from this commercial in Southern Ireland. And we were going around the pubs, they're going, Sally, Sally. So I experienced fame in Southern Ireland. I thought, if I never experienced fame, I've experienced in Southern Ireland. But then after that, I had that sort of big break. And I was about to give it up. And then I went for the audition for Hello Hello. And that came in and I got it.
And what did you know about Hello Hello? Did they say to you, this is going to be a long-running series, we really think it's going to be successful, this is the part you're going for? Or was it all very hush-hush, quiet, let's try something?
Well, I didn't know anything about it. All I knew is my sister Anne and I went to see David Croft, and I think it was Jimmy Perry or Jeremy Lloyd, and they wrote
the creators of Hello Hello, the creators. Well, there was 3 of them. So Hello Hello, yes. Well, Jeremy Lloyd was creator, but Jimmy Perry wrote Dad's Army with David Croft, and so they were doing a new series called Come Back, Mrs. Noah. Yes.
And Anne and I went for a leading role, and David Croft couldn't make up his mind, but Anne got the role. And it was one of those, because if you were in a Croft series, like Heidi High, any of those, you were on a winner. You know, you knew it was going to be good. And this was the one series that didn't really take off. And I think that was because Kenny Everett was on the other side. Oh, I worked with him as well. So he was on the other side. So it didn't go as well. But in it, I did one episode as a French-made robot. So when David Croft and Jeremy Lloyd said, oh, we need French, you know, who's French? What about Vicki? So I went in to read for Hello Hello. And I read for actually Michelle of the Resistance and Yvette. And but then we didn't hear for 6 months. So I didn't think I'd got it. I think it's because the BBC thought it was quite contentious. Yeah. And, you know, it's about the war. And so it was sort of quite brave of them to do it. And I remember seeing Michael, who was in charge? Michael, in charge of the BBC.
Michael Grade.
Yes, correct. Michael Grade, that's it. And I saw him, thanks. And I saw him recently at one of my charity dues for the Royal Variety. And I started talking to him about it. And he said, well, I said, it was a bit contentious. He said, no, I was the one that said, we're definitely doing it. So it's because of him that Hello Hello got made.
Goodness me. And it's also because you didn't get that other part. So
and my sister, it could have been my sister in a reverse.
So how has that gone down between you both? Has it been absolutely fine? No jealousies, no problems?
No, I think that Anne went out to America and did some amazing films out there, you know, Mistress Pamela and lots of really good films. So she went out and she had a really good film career. That was when I'd given up my career for a bloke. That was a really dumb move. That was such a dumb move.
So not the bloke you're with now then? Oh!
That's never going to happen again. So she had a really good career. So she was really, you know, flying, and I was doing nothing, and I was working in a boutique, I think, when I gave it up. And then I sort of went, no, and went back to it. And then my career sort of took off with that. So we've been pleased for each other that if one of us is working, it's better than neither of us working.
Yeah. But for you, Hello Hello really was life-changing because it became global. It was shown absolutely everywhere. Peak time, always Saturday evenings. Was it 6 o'clock or 6:30? What time was it on?
I can't remember.
A good time. The time when everybody's watching television.
It was the time when everyone got in from work. Yes, it probably was. Because all the taxi drivers, you say, oh, can't wait to get home and watch Hello, Hello. We have a laugh if we had a hard day, then we watch the telly. It's really good fun. And nowadays you get like, oh, there's nothing on, you know, because I think people need to smile and laugh when they get in from work. And there's nothing that's doing that. There's nothing doing that on television. And which is a shame. But we sold to over 80 countries. We took the stage play out. We went to.
But Vicki, let's just go back a little bit, because you said there was that 6 months
when it's like wine, but it's water.
That I believe you. That 6 months when you were waiting to see what was going to happen. Did you just take no work, thinking, okay, this series could happen, or did they keep you on a retainer? What happened during that time?
Well, no, I mean, there was other bits and pieces, I think, coming in, and you didn't, I mean, really, if you're going to get a show, you usually think you're here within a couple of months, you know, or a month. So basically, I thought, no, I haven't got it. That was it. But the reason that it took so long is because the BBC were seeing if they were brave enough to do it.
Okay.
Which they were.
And when you did the pilot, was it the original cast? Was it the cast that went on to do the series? Gordon Kay and Carmel?
Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah.
So were you all phoning each other and saying, have you heard anything? Have we got it? Will it happen?
Well, no, because I didn't know them then. You know, I didn't know them. Yeah. I'd met Kirsten Cook because she'd worked with Les Dawson. And so I used to work with Les Dawson, you know, and did a series with him and everything. So, and she did few sketches in his show. So we sort of crossed paths. Everyone else, I don't think I hadn't met any of the others. No. So just Kirsten was the only one that I know. But of course, I didn't know them. So then we become like a family afterwards. Yeah.
And was it an overnight success when it was first on? Did people immediately start talking about it?
I think they watched it, and it's like any new series. So they watched the series, and we got quite good viewing figures. But then obviously everyone went out and told their friends. So when they repeated it, that's when we got the really, really good viewing figures. And that's when and that just shows you word of mouth. Word of mouth went round, repeats, everyone watched it, and then it just went on from there.
Yeah.
I mean, phenomenal.
Completely phenomenal. During your year, when you were doing it, how much time did it take? How much of your year did Hello, Hello take up?
Well, that's the funny thing. Everyone thinks you're earning a fortune, right? Which actors don't, right? Not in England anyway. And so we were only doing 3 weeks filming, and I think probably we did 7 or 8 episodes. So 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're working for like 10 weeks, 11 weeks, maybe. And so you were getting paid for, and the exteriors you didn't get much money for. You know, the exterior, you know that. You know, you don't get money for the exterior. So that wasn't very good money. And then you go in and do the episodes, which is, so really basically you're only getting money for about 7 or 8 episodes, which wasn't very much. And there was a big cast, you know. Yeah. So we were really only working 2 months out of the year. And that was our wages for 2 months until we did the stage show. And
which was how long into the series were you when you got the stage show?
I think it was about the 4th series.
Okay. And was that straight into the West End? I know you played the Palladium, or did you go on tour first?
Oh my goodness, I think we went straight into the West End. Do you know what? That's really difficult. I think, no, we went to the Prince of Wales. We started
Prince of Wales.
Theatre.
Yeah. Did you play the Palladium? Did you go to the Palladium?
Darling, well, I was working for Paul Elliott, you know, Kudos,
yeah.
And then we find out, Mark Finesse, who was the producer, we've got the Palladium, right? So Carmen was doing a panto, and I was doing a panto for Kudos. Oh, it wasn't, it was E&B at the time, E&B.
Yes.
And so they asked if I could be let off and if Carmen could be let off. Well, Paul let Carmen go, but he wouldn't let me go. So
why?
I don't know. Well, he said you're getting good bookings or something, you know, I don't know. So he said, no, you can't. And so but I had a fantastic time because I was working with Louise English, who's fabulous. And I was playing Wicked Queen, which is a fantastic part. so I couldn't, but then they did the Palladium again. And I had a actress called Janet Ellis play me at the Palladium. And I thought, oh, I'm never going to play the Palladium. And then they did it again. And of course I could do it. So I did the Palladium the second time. Yeah. I have played the Palladium.
Sometimes though, these TV series don't work on stage, do they? But obviously Allo did, because the fans came, and when you had the catchphrases when you all walked on, was it literally the theatre went, whoa, like this?
Huge. I mean, we're talking thousands of people packed out, some of them dressed up as us. And we started, no, hang on, let me think. We started off in Birmingham. I think we did a tour, or did we do the tour? I think we did the tour first. We toured all over the country, sorry. We toured all over the country first. So
all those fellas sitting in little black skirts and aprons being
army gear. So they're all dressed up as Germans or French waiters or everything. So we did Birmingham. That was our opening night, and the whole of the first few rows were dressed up as us, which was amazing. And we used to pack out the theatre, standing room only. We toured for about 16 weeks, packed out everywhere, and it was amazing, because all of a sudden you're realizing that you've got a live audience reacting to you. And I think the secret was that Croft and Lloyd had done music shows before, and they made them very musical. I think when they'd taken a show from the television, made it a bit musically, and sometimes it worked, sometimes not so. So with this one, they said, we're sticking to, it's going to be a long episode of Hello, Hello, with Hitler dummies, Goering dummy. I mean, everything was in it, and it was brilliant. And we had just the most fantastic time.
Did you?
Yeah, and I think at that time we were on a wage, but if we did good business, we got a percentage divided up between us, which was really good.
Very nice. So you were taking your curtain call and counting all the heads at the end, going, whoa.
But the funniest thing I've got to say, this is, I think it was the Prince of Wales, we had some critics in, and they panned the show. Well, I don't know what this is about. I've never watched the show, but everyone's roaring with laughter, but I don't understand why. So we've got a bad crit from this chap that has never seen the television series, doesn't get it, and we packed out. So it just shows you.
That didn't matter, because the people who were coming all knew and loved the show.
Yeah.
Vicki, how were you with the fame which happened? You always seem to me to have embraced it and not had a problem with it. Is that the case?
I think I always thought you must keep your feet on the ground and not get carried away with it. Because I think I'd watched other people get so carried away with their own self-importance and things. They didn't become nice, and they lost themselves a little. And I think that I was just like, it's me, I'm working. It's great at the moment. It might not be happening next week. So I think it's more important, just keep your feet on the ground and you know, don't get wound up in your own self-importance. I think that's really important.
But is it fair to say
you've never got carried away with you? You are a genuinely lovely bloke. Everyone loves you. You know, everyone I talk to loves you. So I think it's really important. And we've survived, Mark, in this business, which is great.
Yeah. I think that it's very difficult though sometimes when you're in something as big as that, and your flavour of the month of the series is big, and I'm not sure that Gordon Kay, who was brilliant, of course, as Renee, I'm not sure that Gordon sometimes embraced that kind of fame and that invasion of privacy the way that everybody else did. He seemed to me sometimes to really not like that. Would you agree with that?
No, yeah, he didn't. Yeah, it was a shame really, because I think I don't know, he was shielding himself quite a lot, I think, and. You know, like sometimes he wouldn't, you know, I'd always go out the stage door and sign, you know, the things. And sometimes he didn't. He started not doing that. And I thought, why wouldn't you do that? These are the people that come to see you. But it might have been that he just got a little bit carried, because they treated him like God, you know, and also he had that awful accident and got through it. So therefore, he was absolutely adored by the general public. So sometimes maybe you can get a little bit carried away. But I think I remember about fame that, you know, like you go to a restaurant and then people are staring at you eating. That's it's a bit odd, you know, that sort of thing coming in. You're thinking, oh my God, don't drip anything, don't you? You know. And what was the other thing I was going to say?
And also with you, because you're quite glamour, I mean, you are gorgeous. You still look wonderful. You always look wonderful. Were you ever stopped when you were in the supermarket, just the tracksuit on and your hair scraped back, and people say hello? Because sometimes I think you're not recognised when you're looking fantastic, when you want to be recognised, and other times when you're not looking great, everybody spots you.
Yeah. Well, my mum always put her makeup on every day, and she never went out unless she don't. So I never do that. I do not go to. So I always put my makeup on and try and look nice if I'm going out. But you do get people sort of. You always know. I know the people, like, if someone's going to say something nice, they say it straight away. Oh my God, you're that girl from Hello, Hello. Oh, you look lovely. Oh, you're even better in real life. Oh, we love you, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll get, oh, hello, you're that girl from Hello, Hello, aren't you? Oh yes, my husband really likes you. You look different from how you do on stage. Now, I learned once to say why. And then you're fatter, thinner, shorter, taller, whatever. So as soon as someone says to me, you look different, I go, yes. And I walk. That's the way, because it can ruin your day if someone insults you. You know, so I just, you learn how to defend yourself. But I think one of the other things was, sometimes, when I was younger, I used to get sort of chatted up if I went out. But then I got chatted up because I was Yvette on Hello, Hello. I found that quite difficult because I thought, are you talking to me because you like me as a person? Or are you talking to me because I'm on television? That was quite a difficult thing to balance out.
But nobody's ever gone over the mark. You've never been in a situation where, people have been getting a little bit too touchy, feely with you. It's been okay.
Sometimes, but I'm quite good. I remember, we used to come outside the stage door, and I remember this chap coming up to me, and I could see him coming towards me. He went like this, and I go, and I could see the lips coming, and I just went, doof. So I got it on I got one of it, but you knew how to sort of, react with it without letting people down, because sometimes people really like the series or they really liked your character, so they want to give you a hug and things, so and that's okay. I mean, the last time I went out with the Hello, Hello stage show was with Jeffrey Holland playing Gordon Kay.
Right.
And I remember we were in Blackpool. I think I was with my mum. I think we went into Marks and Spencer's, and I'd come out, and this woman went, oh, and she ran up to me. She just gave me a big hug, smiled, and just ran off. And that's the sort of thing that you think, that's nice. You do get that because people really, or it reminds them of their parents, or, it emotes. I think Hello, Hello emotes family,
Well, also it's a comedy, I think it must be very different if you're playing a dodgy character, as great as it must be to play that. And I know you'd love to play more dodgy characters. There's something about seeing somebody and they've made you laugh, because when you see them, you're laughing and smiling because you think back to, oh, I saw you last Saturday night and I love that scene that you did. And so it makes everybody really
that's a nice thing. I was in a comedy that was loved by the general public, but then you'll get people like EastEnders and things. And I remember I was working with Daniela Westbrook on the Gale Tuesday show, which was really quite fun, and very good writer. And she and Daniela was playing a baddie, and she said she's really getting bad. Someone split the back of her her leather jacket and things like that. So they actually sometimes they believe the character you're playing, which can be quite dangerous. Yeah. So thank God I was in a comedy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in one way, it's a compliment that they think you are that person, but in another way, you
but they believe that. You get people that believe that character. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
That's dangerous. Yeah.
So how has Graham, your husband, and Louise, your daughter, been about you being so famous? Has it always been okay? No problems?
Yeah, because Graham's a lighting cameraman, so he was always, he was always filming. He was off doing, and I think that the reason that we've been together so long is that we understand the business. Whereas with other people I've been out with, they didn't understand. You can be working till 2 and 3 in the morning, and he understands the business. I understand if he has to go away. He understands if I have to go away, and that's fine. And with Lulu, when I had Lulu, I took her with me. She went to Australia. She was my suitcase baby. She went to Australia with me. I took Mum, I took Louise, and everywhere I went, Panto, She was all there. In fact, people still at some of the theatres say, "How's Louise?" And she's a fabulous actress, actually, and great at comedy. And she does great impersonations as well.
I know you're so proud of it. How long into the series was it before you went to Australia? When did it start to get shown over there?
I think it was Australia used to take pretty much most of the British stuff, so that was quite early. But we went to New Zealand first, because New Zealand took it as well. Huge over there, toured all over New Zealand. And then we came back, then we went out to Australia and we toured all over Australia. They loved it. But 80 countries, I mean, Bulgaria, all of those, Holland. We used to get awards from abroad. Amazing. I'm so lucky.
Yeah, you are lucky. And I know that you realize that and you embrace that. But I also know that there's a part of you that would love to take the makeup off, get their hair scraped back and do something else. And you've recently done a play that you were really proud of, where it was something to do with Marilyn Monroe. Tell me a bit about that.
Oh, that was, yes. I had to age up. How good's that? So I had to age up. So I had the grey wig and everything. So I'm playing an aging Marilyn Monroe, and it's called Hello, Norma Jean. So we did it at the King's Theatre, and then we did it at the Park Theatre. And it's really funny because I read this script and I went, it's mine. And the agent went, well, there's not going to be much money. And I said, no, I really love this script. And I went to see the writer, and I read for him, and he really liked my reading. And I thought, oh, I've got a good feeling about this. And I thought, and I very rarely, but you get this, I said, that part's mine. I just thought that. Anyway, Sandra Dickinson,
yeah.
She read for it, and he couldn't make up his mind who to use, and he used Sandra because obviously she was American,
Yeah.
Said, I'm casting Sandra. Anyway, it comes to when he's got the theatre and everything, and Sandra, and my agent went, oh, Vicki, you haven't got that. Sandra Dickens got. I said, well, I understand that. She's American. I understand that. I said, but I'm telling you now, that's my part, and it's coming back. I just knew. And she couldn't do it. When he got the thing, she couldn't do it. It came back. He said, well, you don't want to do it because, and I went, yes, I do. I'm doing it. And it was one of the best plays. Such a clever play. Aging Marilyn Monroe's faked her death, been living in England, goes back to America and goes and finds all the things that proves that she's alive. And it was, people laughed, they cried. It was a great show. I would love to do that show again. In fact, Dylan...
But is it about a woman who's slightly deluded? Is that what it's about?
You don't know whether she's deluded. So it's like a who's who. So you're guessing, you're going, no, it's not her. Is it her? So all the time it's like a, no. And then there's another thing goes and you go, it could be her. Maybe it is her. No, it's not. And that goes right the way through, whether she's deluded, whether she's absolutely raving bonkers, or she is Marilyn Monroe. And
could that come back? Could that happen again?
I'm going to have a chat with Dylan about it, because to be quite honest, I think it would make the most amazing television series. One, you've got the title. Two, you've got, and you'd watch it. You would really watch it. It's and he did write a television script, so yeah, that would be great.
And great for people to see you doing something different as well.
Yeah.
What about doing something like EastEnders or something really gritty? Have you ever done something?
Everyone says to me, "Why aren't you on EastEnders?"
Yeah, everybody says it. I know.
Everyone. I mean, like actors, actresses, friends. Why have you never done? I don't know. Because I think you brought up, but I don't know. The powers that be, cannot see it. But I'm Queen Vic for the Queen Vic, Mark.
Yeah.
Queen Victoria, Queen Vic.
Yes, I get it. Absolutely, I get it. I was just thinking.
But maybe, who knows?
But are they worried that the audience identify you so much with hello, hello? But you see, I think they're wrong when, if that's the case, audiences don't do that. For the first 5 minutes, they go, it's Vicki Michelle, hello, hello. And then if you're good, and you would be good, if you're real and you play, they forget all that. One of the guests I've had on this was Bonnie Langford. Who'd have thought Bonnie would have gone into EastEnders and had that huge success? And I think even she questioned at first, will that happen? But it did, because she was good enough to bring that character to life and make it real. And you would do the same.
Well, I was being muted around her time after for EastEnders. So they were looking at me, and I thought Bonnie was terrific. And I'm really happy for Bonnie, because she struggled for quite a long, because she was put into a, typecast, really. And now she's doing amazing. She's great. And she's a lovely, lovely, talented actress. So I'm so happy for her that of how her career's gone, but you never know. And the wonderful thing about this business is you don't know what's going to happen. Who knows? Because all of a sudden you're doing nothing, and then you're doing an amazing, I played Miss Hannigan in Annie. That was such a good part. Great. I wanted great. That was a great part. Shut up, you little brats. It was great. Yeah, I mean,
I think that's what's difficult. I think that's what's difficult about this time, Vicky, that we're going through now. We're all used to the phone not ringing, but it might ring today with a job. At the moment, it's just nothing's happening because there is nothing happening. That's hard for everybody.
No, because we don't even know where the panto's happening. So I had panto lined up, but we don't know. Are the theatres going to be open? How are they going to do that? And so I think really this is the most scary time for actors, because we really are in limbo land. And I spoke to a producer the other day that we both know, Chris, and he said that 7 theatres have closed. And I'm talking beautiful theatres. These are theatres that, you go in and they're beautiful. How can you close them? It should be, they should be, the government or someone, should stump up and save, because it's part of our heritage. And it's why people come to this country. Let's look, they're going to go to certain areas. You need a theatre there. So it's quite scary, that as well. Yeah.
I just hope and pray that is temporary. I really do, because the thought of those gorgeous theatres, that's just heartbreaking for everybody. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Last year, I came along to Pizza Express in London, and you did your one-woman show, looking back with all the pictures and the VT and everything, the video clips, and Louise was interviewing you, which is a really nice dynamic, actually, of daughter interviewing mum. That was really nice. Yeah. And I thought, surely there's a book. Was that to celebrate 50 years in the business? Is it? No.
I don't know, not really, but I could. Yes, whatever. If it works. I just did it. I just didn't even think about that. I thought it was to celebrate a milestone in your career, and it was just time. Yeah, that's great. I'll take that.
Well, I'm celebrating 50 years in the business as well, so but
anyway. We're all the same. But Lula was great, because she sort of guided through it, and I and she's really talented. She's lovely, and she's a watchable. Like some people have screen presence and some people don't. And you either have it or you don't. And you can't bottle it and you can't train it. And she's got it. So she's great to work with, because she can hold her own. And also, we talked about I'm a Celebrity. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And she said, so we were talking about Gemma Collins was in it with me. And then she did this most amazing impersonation of Gemma Collins. And after I'd done all that work, Mark, if you remember, she nicked it. Because she was so funny. I'm so proud of her. Yeah. Right. And that was great. Did you enjoy it, the show?
I did, and what I really liked was, because when you are so identified with a series and a part, people think that's all you've ever done.
Yeah.
Even people in the business sometimes think that. To look back and see the pictures and hear you talking about working with Ray Winstone, you really talked about working with him and how you came close to getting that movie that Amanda, I can't think.
Redmond got. Yeah. Amanda Redmond. Sexy Bee. That was out me and her. We read for it.
Yes.
I did a screen test with Ray Winstone. And listen, if you're going to lose out to someone, Amanda Redmond's a fabulous actress. So if you're going to lose out to someone, that I don't mind that, because if you're good, you're good. And but Ray did come up to me at a do afterwards, and he said, "You know what, Vicky? Amanda's great. She's a mate and everything, and she's great." He said, "But you were right for the part as well." So that was nice to take that. And then a few years later, I worked with him in All in the Game, played his wife, and Danny Dyer was my son. And I think it was a sort of loosely based on Harry Redknapp. Yeah. Football was about football. And it was great working with Ray. And also, so I'm doing this scene with him, and he's walking, "Oh, all right, you you know, like how he is. And I said, oh, you know, all right, Frankie, right, yeah. So anyway, we're walking, and then I don't know he's going to do this. So I'm walking towards him, and then he grabs me and gives me this huge snog. And I went, well, and I wasn't expecting, so go with it, go with the flow. And actually, he was a very good kisser. But you know, that's a Ray thing. It's a Ray thing, so it's spontaneous. You don't know it's going to happen. But people got very upset because people love Ray Winstone, and they're going, "You kissed him." They get jealous.
Oh, yeah. Because
Really?
there's something about him. He's got that raw quality, hasn't he? But what was nice was that what was nice in the show last year was that you talked about that, about coming close and not getting that part and stuff. It was a really honest, lovely show, which is really
yeah. And then I've worked with you, which is fabulous.
And we had to snog as well. We had a long snog at the end of that play.
I was leading you into that. I was leading. And so it was Wife Begins at 40. That was hilarious, honestly, Mark.
Yes.
Mark, that was at the Mill at Sonning, wasn't it?
It's at the Mill at Sonning, and it's actually worth saying because we are doing this for performers who've had a bad time and who've had the rug pulled from under them, and that happened to us, didn't it? We were about to go on tour. The first time we did the play, Wife Begins at 40, we'd signed up for something like a 16-week tour. We won't mention the producer, but we were told on the technical rehearsal, this play is not happening. And do you know what I remember about that? Well, I remember two things, Vicky. We all felt upset.
Yeah.
One young actor in the show, on the back of this lovely tour and being told that there might be more weeks, he'd left home and he'd put a deposit down on a flat. I think it was only rental, but he'd said, I can pay my rent for the night. And of course he couldn't. And I remember him being upset, and I remember you immediately turning it into a positive and saying to me, right, okay, we'll tour it. How much money have you got? Come on, we can do it. We'll get a truck, we'll take the set. And I said, no, I can't do it. I can't do that. But you immediately turned it into a positive, and that says a lot about you. That says a lot about you.
I think out of every negative, you learn something. So I do turn things into a positive. You learn from it. That's never going to happen again.
And we did it again because Ray Cooney came to see it.
Ray Cooney came to the rescue.
Yeah.
And took us all out with it, which was brilliant. But but when we did, I'll never forget. When you were coming towards me, what was it we were playing? Do you remember? Oh, should we talk about it? When we were doing the Mill and they had the blackout.
Yes. Well, blackout? I've interviewed Sally Hughes on this, and she talked about that particular night when we lost the power, and we asked the audience. She asked the audience to be the noise of a telephone and a dog barking and a choir singing and all that. And the show must go on, Vicky, and it did.
The love scene between us, hysterical. So I have to keep a straight face. And I've got you coming towards me because you are trying to make it, basically you're trying to make up with me that, because our marriage is falling apart and now you're going to be the big lover, and you've thrown me on the floor and you've put on, is it the Dam Busters?
No, it was, Colonel Bogey. Yeah.
Wasn't it that?
Yes, it was that, yeah.
It was that. And you are coming towards me looking like, yeah. And I really, really took all my control not to laugh every time. It was a brilliant, brilliant show. And I kissed you.
You did. If you're going to kiss anybody, it might as well be Vicki Michelle, let's face it. And
you are a really good kisser, Mark.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you. I was acting,
I know.
Listen, Vicki, just great to talk to you. What a wonderful career. You're just the same as you always were and you always will be. And I just hope you do everything that you want to do. And also, let's hope that we get back doing what we should do. Thank you.
Please God, that some work is created for actors and actresses, because we are, 90% are out of work at any one time, and it's because they love the profession, and it's sad. It's so sad. So we need to, generate something. You and me would generate something to make it all happen again, to get people back to the theatre, get people watching things. It's so important. And please God, we come out of this. I think we're wiser, things that have happened. But we really do need to care about the acting fraternity, because they do it for love. It's definitely not for the money, So we need to protect them. And
and
you know,
everybody else and everybody else who works alongside us as well. Vicki, thank you so much for being my guest today. And everybody else who's watching this, if you've enjoyed it, and I'm sure you have, it's been so entertaining. Just, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, go back to the Acting for Others channel, hit donate. That takes you through to Just Giving, and you can donate. It's really, really easy. Thanks so much, Vicki Michelle.
Acting for Others is such a brilliant charity, and thank you for having me. I love you. Mwah.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching that conversation. If you've enjoyed it, please go to the Acting for Others website, which is actingforothers.co.uk, and hit the donate button, which will take you immediately to the Just Giving page. And please give as little or as much as you possibly can to help those performers and people in the industry who really need your help financially right now. Thanks a lot.